Hurricane Katrina devastated the Gulf Coast, drastically altering the nation's understanding of disaster response. In fact, for one former 11Alive reporter, the memories aren't just about covering the chaos, they're about living through alongside with the people whose lives were changed forever. Jerry Carnes joins us to take some time to step back and reflect on what actually happened, the story, the lessons learned, all those things. You were actually sent down to Mississippi.
Correct.
You know, typically when we talk about Katrina, New Orleans gets all the attention, but Mississippi was really devastated.
Yeah, it absolutely was. There was a large swath of the coast of Mississippi that was impacted by Hurricane Katrina. You know, it was different, Chesley, because normally I was part of the team that was sent out ahead of a hurricane, and we would either go to the coast of Florida, coast of North Carolina, something like that, and wait on hurricanes to come. And the news director at the time here at 11Alive said, we're not doing that this time. We're not going to Katrina. This one looks like a monster. We don't want to put anyone in direct danger by being there at the coast.
Absolutely. Got stronger coming inland, made two different landfalls, just east really of New Orleans. It was the levees for them. But when you got down there, you started talking to the people, what did you realize quickly?
They were just shocked. I mean, no matter how much of a warning you get about a hurricane like this, it doesn't sink in until the devastation happens. And I remember I spent a lot of time in a town called Waveland, Mississippi. Nothing there. I mean, I remember going to the area of Waveland that's right there near the beach, and that's where their city hall was located. Gone. All those homes, you know, sometimes you see the aftermath of a hurricane and homes are damaged, roofs blown away, that kind of thing. These homes were gone, just gone. And there was one man in particular that I remember who was there at the spot where his home used to be, and he just had a blue tarp, and he had some trinkets that I guess he'd collected. I don't, you know, some things that he was able to salvage. I don't know if they were, I don't know what the whole situation was. I don't remember, but all I know is he had a tarp there, and he had his dog, and they had been there in the home. The storm surge comes in with all the wind and just washes them like a half mile away. And he was there, back there, just sitting there with nowhere else to go. And he was stunned and so thankful to be alive. That was it. It was that incredible that they were still in shock days after this happened.
We often forget about that's people's livelihoods. That's where they live, and if that's gone, where do you go? We saw a lot of people come here to Atlanta. Talk about that.
Yeah, right before I left to go down to the coast, I was able to interview, I remember one particular gentleman who came up here to Atlanta from New Orleans, and he told me about how right after the hurricane made landfall, he had evacuated, came back thinking everything was fine. Then if you remember, it was a couple of days later, the levees broke. And that's when he's in his home and it starts filling with water. And he thinks, how far can this go? Well, it covered the first floor. He goes to the second floor. It started covering the second floor. He had to punch a hole in the roof and wait for someone to come rescue him.
You've gone back, especially to Mississippi, where you covered some stories there. You've gone back a couple times. How has the rebuild been?
The town of Hapeville, Georgia, adopted Waveland, Mississippi, and I remember going down with representatives of Hapeville the first time. The police department in Waveland lost their entire fleet of police cars, just washed away. So Hapeville took a police car that they had and took it down there and gave it to them. They were donating all kinds of things to just survival stuff for the folks of Waveland, Mississippi. And it was just very, very heartfelt effort. They didn't go just once. They were going down there continuously, and I went down with Mayor Alan Hallman and others. Members of churches from Hapeville kept going back there months and years later, and really got to be friends with, and even family sort of, with the folks down there in Waveland, and it was just touching to see.
You have, as long as I've been here with you, you've been kind of our weather go-to in the field. You've seen your share of devastation. How does this compare? How does Katrina compare to what you've seen as far as our tornadoes, things like that?
In my experience, Katrina, the worst I've ever seen. And I told you this story just a few minutes ago. The National Weather Service, prior to Katrina, normally they put out warnings that are very scientific, and it could cause this much storm surge, and just be prepared for this. And this time it was an alarmist. I mean, they were really sounding the alarm, and we knew ahead of time that Katrina was going to be extraordinary. And you know, I've been to waited on hurricanes in the past that have done quite a bit of devastation. I can't even count at least 24 hurricanes where I've seen significant damage.
Yeah.
This one outdid them all.
Wow.
And it was really a lesson. And there have been some since that have been maybe as bad or worse, but that was the first one that really took a real shot to the coast of the United States, and it really taught us all a lesson about, boy, these things, take them seriously.
Absolutely, absolutely, especially for those that want to stay and stick it out, that kind of thing. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Jerry Carnes.
Thank you, sir.
Always good to see you, man.
Always great to see you,
Don't
Chesley.
be strange, always come back, man.
I will. You know. You invite me, I'm back.
Very good.